Hot news in Ghana today: Parliament versus Supreme Court. So, the Supreme Court has ruled against Alban Bagbe's decision to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant, and this ruling was after the Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo led 7-member panel and declared 5-2 decision, which went in favor of Alexander Afenyo Markin. This is Authentic Plus TV. Kindly do subscribe, share, and like. Also, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. Alright, so let's first of all watch the ruling of the court.
By court, in a majority decision of 5-2, Lovelace Johnson JSC and Amadou Tanko JSC dissenting on the issue of jurisdiction, the plaintiff's action succeeds. The full reasons and orders of the court shall be filed with the registrar by close of day tomorrow, 13th November 2024. This is the judgment of the court.
Okay, so after the ruling, these 5 justices ruled in favor of Afenyo Markin, and these 2 justices also dissented the ruling, which means they were against it. The Chief Justice herself, Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo, Justice Maram Owusu, Justice Kwame Asiedu Adibu, Justice Yao Asari, and Justice Enes Gao favored Afenyo Markin, and Justice Amenu Tanko, Justice Avel Lovelace Johnson also dissented the ruling. Alright, now let's listen to Tsikata'S point of view on the Supreme Court versus Parliament case.
Unless it wants to depart by stated reasons, then it can do so. But here, the court did not even make reference to any of these previous decisions because, frankly, they did not give the speaker a chance to put before them his side of the case. So based on Honorable Afenyo Markin's ex parte application, as we call it, they made those pronouncements about the orders. Now, those orders are also very problematic because when you look at the writ that Honorable Afenyo Markin put to the Supreme Court, he wanted an interpretation of 97(1)G. You talked about G and H, but in his writ, he actually did not say G and H. He said G.
Right.
So H, which is about Honorable Esiama, the Deputy Speaker, was not part of what he took before the Supreme Court. People lose sight of that.
Right.
Now, so if he took G to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court had no basis for bringing in orders in relation to H.
Right.
Because that's not part of the writ. Additionally, as I think was pointed out by counsel for the Speaker when he tried to set aside the writ, you have a situation where the papers that were filed by Honorable Afenyo Markin were deficient in terms of the rules of the Supreme Court itself, because the rules of the Supreme Court required Honorable Afenyo Markin to have an affidavit that verifies the statement of case that he filed. Because an affidavit involves somebody stating on oath certain facts, and on that basis, the court can act. In this case, there was no affidavit. So all that was in the statement of case lacked verification. And essentially, when the Supreme Court in its ruling was talking about things like constitutional crisis and so on and so forth, it was relying on things in Honorable Afenyo Markin's statement of case, which had not been verified. And therefore, they could not be relied upon as evidence before the Supreme Court. And when you have clear rules which require that for such an originating process, you must have an affidavit, again, there is judicial precedent for insisting that in those circumstances, the proceedings are void.
Right.
So they should not have proceeded without at least taking account of the fact that there was a deficiency in terms of compliance with their own rules.
Alright, so if you don't know Tsikata, this is Tsikata. And he's a prominent Ghanaian lawyer, and is also known for his significant role in the legal and political landscape of Ghana. So according to him, Afenyo Markin's writ needed an interpretation of 97 clause 1G, and the court has no basis to include the H. There again, he said that the court could have simply solved this case by letting Afenyo Markin know that his directive has no affidavit backing it, and that could simply solve the case. This is the point of view of Tsikata. What do you also think? Let's continue the conversation under the comment section. My name is Sarah Tete. Kindly do subscribe, share, and like. Also, follow us on all social media platforms.